But yeah, I'm here as a senior PM with Engine Digital. We hit our 15-year mark. We have an office in Vancouver, BC, beautiful city if you haven't been, in New York, and we're definitely on the go. Great leadership team, really investing in all of us. For example, we had Agency Agile and Steve, who's here, if you haven't talked to him up, about a year and a half ago, really getting us on the same page with how Agile should work for us and as a group. So if you haven't had a chance to talk to Steve, pick his brain on that for sure. But I'm going to talk about a key part of my overall organizational system that I do refer to as a 2-minute rule principle. And it keeps me in a very proactive state. So keeping proactive becomes more and more important. And I think about it in the context of being a coach. So you are the one with the plan. You have the big picture in mind, but you're managing everything in that day-to-day. So when you think about complexities and projects that come up, that's really new information that's tending to surface. It doesn't have to be in the technical nature, but it's capturing that new information day in and day out for your teams. Something that great coaches do is they're constantly connecting and observing their team. So we need to find the time in our days to connect, reach out, ask those questions. So Sam was talking about it yesterday. How are they doing? How's the family? How was your vacation? How was your other project work? So that's something we get so inundated, we forget sometimes that our team is spread out too. They're on multiple projects, they're just as busy. Ask them how it's going. So really understand what their world is looking like. Great coaches do that. Here he's observing his team ahead of the game to remind himself, who do I need to push a little bit more? What were we working on? So really understand the strengths of your team members and how to get the most out of them and connect with them. So there's a big difference between connecting and communicating at your team. So I think staying in this proactive mindset with what I'm going to share with you here and how I do that in my daily planning routine allows you to deal with the information that comes in day to day and seamlessly integrate it into your plan, which is what a great coach does. As you move through your career as PM and you take on bigger budgets, bigger projects, bigger impacts that we all want to do, in comes more complexities and different things that we have to deal with. So we have to get really good at capturing that information as it comes in. There was a massive Google study, a human analytics study, and said the number one factor for team growth is that regular rhythmic connection and support you can give your team. So not being too high, not being too low, being that consistent person that they can lean on. So you want to be that for your team. So we're all super busy. How do we do that? And how do we find time? So I'm going to share with you how I have sort of put my daily planning system in this automated state that just happens for me naturally. When I started this about 7 years ago, I used to schedule 15 minutes a day in my calendar to sit down and do this. So I'm talking about strategic focused thinking time. So very small pocket. 15 minutes, I can't do anymore due to the project nature and stuff that comes in, but we have these natural pockets of time in our day, which I'll get to. Now, what am I planning when I sit down? It's 11:30 a.m., and I'm actually planning my next day. So it's not even noon yet, and I'm actually setting my next day. So that's what we're doing here. You need 4 things. You need your calendar in digital form, whether that's your Gmail calendar or Outlook, however you look at it. I like to use the weekly view. You need a place for your notes. And yes, this is actually my notebook, and I actually write notes down with pen and paper. And then you need, number 3, your current day's list and schedule, so your own agenda for the day. And number 4, you need a spot to create tomorrow's list and schedule. I love the notebook. It's so fast for me. If you are straight digital, you'll have to find out how this is going to work for you. But I can be working away and quickly leave this laying open on my desk and glance at it. Really, really easy. If you're just digital, it's going to take you, you're closing tabs, you're opening these 4 things. It's going to be a little bit more challenging for you, so you're going to have to find how this works best for you. But these are the things that you need. Now, what are we doing? How are we planning this? Let's take a closer look at what a day is. And you see, I give myself 8 slots in a day. Reality says we can only do around 8 things in that given day. So I think Megan was mentioning yesterday the main 3 things. So you'll start to see that you can only do so much in a day. I find we really do overestimate what we can do in those 8 hours or 9 hours or whatever you're working. So this takes me 2 minutes the first time I sit down because I'm not writing down 25 things. I only have the maximum of 8 things. Here you'll see I have 3 empty spots. We're all super busy. We're going to fill those spots as we move through our day. So start with your regular meetings from that calendar view, and that's your first 2 minutes. So try and get to the point where you can sit down. And those 2 minutes are going to come up in your day, whether it's before lunch, right after lunch, those little natural pockets of time that come. The best one is when you sit down, I find, and you have 10 or 15 things in your head and you don't know what to do next. Do this. Sit down, get it all out of your head, look at your notes, get this first one done. So the next step is, later in the day, you come down and you look at all your notes. So the second time you sit down, so this would be 4 minutes, you're reviewing your notes, you're reviewing today's list. So if you look back here, bottom left, I have a few items crossed off, checked off. Some notes are captured, and the goal is to constantly be integrating these into your next day. So you're prioritizing and adjusting every single day in really micro ways. So you're not allowing yourself to get too overwhelmed with new information that's coming into you, how this is throwing my schedule off. We get all concerned about our projects. You can automate this in very small pockets of time. And the goal is to set it for tomorrow. So let's look at the goal. You have the big picture. You have the plan. You have today's plan. You're getting meeting notes. You have things in your head. You're capturing it. Right? And then you're reviewing and prioritizing and adjusting as you go to set tomorrow's plan. May seem really small, but so critical to keeping that level and calm consistency as you move through your day. Right? And you do this throughout your whole project until you get to the end. I think Sam also mentioned, if you take care of yourself, the project and schedule will take care on its own. And typically, I found the same thing. Your team wants to work hard. Everybody wants to produce great work, but they need you to guide them. They need you to be there. You can work hard together. You can celebrate hard together. Maybe not quite awkwardly like this photo here, but the idea is to create winning teams. If somebody gets tapped to be on your project, are they cringing? You're the UX lead on Greg's project. Oh no, it's going to be a roller coaster ride for the next 5 months. Or are they excited? They know that you're there to steer them, guide them, you're going to capture, prioritize, and help them get through that. You want people to want to be on your projects. Remember that. It's a big piece to creating winning teams, which will spread through your organization and your agency to create that winning culture. Now, when you get this to an automated state and you get really comfortable in doing this, it allows you to close that laptop, close that notebook at 5, 6 p.m. when you're done at the end of the day, and go home and be present with your friends, families, the ones you love. Gives you time to do the activities that keep you replenished. Gives you that chance to come back in refreshed day to day. Okay, so I know that's really quick. I hope the concept is there. Figure out how you can automate that for yourself, and we can connect further. Of course, we have the hashtags. I'll be around. I've met a lot of people, so I'll meet the rest of you hopefully today, tomorrow before we're gone. But in summary, stay in proactive state versus reactive. You got this, you got the information, you got tomorrow set, you can be proactive and feel confident. Value that actual focused thinking time. So not multitasking, pull yourself away if you need to, value those 2 minutes and really strategically think about your next day and prioritize. And of course, be present. So you can be there for your teams, be that calm, cool force and leader that your teams need you to be. Thank you.